Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth, and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia, and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam, and to avoid a lawsuit, I'm watching this for the first time in 5 ever. Eat it, Disney.
And today we are talking about episode 19 of season 1, The Great Radish Famine.
Which, can I just say, it was a pretty great radish famine.
As far as radish famines go?
As far as radish famines go.
In watching this episode, I was just like, this is answering so many of Adam's questions.
Right.
I have a bit in my notes later that is on all caps. It just says vindication.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited for you to get to this one.
Oh my god, I feel so validated, I feel so vindicated, and also a little bit miffed.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
So this episode originally aired on May 16th, 1983, directed by George Bloomfield and written by Jerry Jewell.
Oh, wow. Hey, Jerry.
Yeah. We know that guy. Hey, Julia, do you want to say a little bit more about who Jerry Jewell is for folks who are not enormous Muppet nerds like ourselves?
Yeah, folks who you know, like someone maybe on this podcast who might have heard of the name but not necessarily have a lot of context. I'm not saying who, but, somebody on this podcast might have heard the name.
Sure, I mean, if you have the Muppet Wiki page, you'll probably be able to give greater detail. But, I think when people think of Jim Henson, when they think of Jim Henson's right-hand man, Frank is the person that comes to mind. But, Jerry is kind of the person behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know. He wrote a ton of... Did he write the Muppet movie? Am I making that up? He wrote one of the movies, didn't he?
Let me scroll through, try to find his credits.
He definitely worked on the Muppet Show, and he had a hand in the creation of a lot of characters, and is just around behind the scenes for such a long time.
He did write the Muppet movie.
Yeah.
And, was definitely one of the reasons why the Muppet Show is what it is. That is Jerry Jewell to a T.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just kind of the silent partner of the Muppets where, it's easy to credit Jim and Frank and all the other folks on screen and even some of the people who were behind building the puppets, but he was doing a lot of the work. He was just an awesome guy. Yeah.
So he either wrote or co-wrote on a ton of Fraggle Rock episodes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, because have we done an episode that he's written before? I could just be completely spacing.
I can go back and check because when we started this podcast, we weren't giving, writing credits yet. So
oh, yeah.
He's listed as writing... Yeah, he wrote the pilot Beginnings.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
So he wrote episode 2, Wembley and the Gorgs, 30-Minute Work Week. Wait, I thought someone else... No, he wrote the 30-Minute Work Week.
Well, he wrote 29 of the 30 minutes, and some guy came in and wrote the last minute.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, it's a writer's room. It's a group project. The Lost Treasure of the Fraggles, Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk, The Challenge. Oh my god.
He's written a lot of ours.
Given credit to Jerry Jewell yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember if Jerry had a hand in this show to a larger extent. I probably figured that...
I don't know if he was a puppeteer.
Oh, no, he wasn't a puppeteer.
Then he probably didn't actually have a hand in this show.
Yeah. I guess I would have assumed that he had a helping hand in creating the show and the world with Jim, but that's awesome to know that he also was around and wrote plenty of the episodes.
Yeah. So, Jerry Jewell Appreciation Hour.
Shall we get into the meat of it?
Yeah, let's dive into the episode itself.
So it starts off with Doc coming back in, and he's so excited, and he says that he's gotten something, and I believe it's 31 kilometers to the liter, which translates to 70. He says, no, so here's the thing. He says it translates to 71 miles to the gallon. I did the math. It's actually 73 miles to the gallon.
Oh, I got different math.
Do your math right?
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah. Well, granted, I just Googled, kilometers to a liter converted to miles to gallon, and it came up with 70.56.
That's wild, because I did the same thing and got 72.9.
Oh, it's a conspiracy. What's happening?
And I didn't Google anything.
Speaking of conspiracies, my immediate next line in this is, in this episode, Doc gets vanished by an oil corporation. And then Schimmelfinny, because he's talking about this carburetor that's going to be amazing and give him so much more efficient gas. And then Schimmelfinny calls him, and it turns out his neighbor's been pranking him and putting in gas when he wasn't looking. And my next line is, "Oh, Doc, you have no idea how close to being erased you just came." When he gets really mad, and he says, "Well, our friendship is over," and he has a great line. He says, "Go and never darken my phone again." And I laughed very hard.
That's a great line.
Yeah. And there's also, like, a lot of really great little moments with Sprocket when he's on the phone with Ned, where Sprocket's, like, pantomiming, like, being, like, disgusted when he calls and laughing and everything. And there's just a lot of nice little puppeteering moments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a great one where Sprocket wakes up with a fly and then, like, catches it out of the air and then is trying to hit it with a hammer and it flies away. And you just sort of watch his face trail up and away. No dialogue, just full, complete, like, I would almost call it pantomime.
That's how the episode completely starts, like, before Doc even comes through the door. It's just this moment of watching Sprocket do something that has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the episode. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think there's even, like, a tiny fly puppet, so it's just Sprocket pantomiming, seeing it and trying to catch it and trying to hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
If it's a dog doing puppet pantomime, is that a pupptomime?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Puppet-to-mime.
Puppet-to-mime? Puppet all the way to mime. What are you doing with it? I'm on a puppet to mime. It's early. Anyways, so Doc friend breaks up with Schimmelfinny and then immediately gets so sad.
Yeah, because he's like, we should play football, Sprocket. Oh, wait, Schimmelfinny has the football. Oh, we should play video games. And then is it Schimmelfinny has, like, the controllers or something, so they can't...
It's a 3-player game.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So they're just like, immediately they're like, oh no, we miss having a friend, even though they don't admit to that yet. That'll come later.
I also just want to say, Doc's doing some really autistic body language here. The, like, hands in the pockets, the, like, looking everywhere else but the focus of what's happening, like, those are both really autistic affectations, and I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but, like, chalk one up for Doc is not neurotypical.
Yeah. I love that the scene ends where, he's trying to convince himself, who needs him? And Sprocket does this little camera take to, like, look at the audience and, like, motions behind his hand to, like, pointing at Doc. This guy needs him.
Fraggle Rock walks so the office can run.
Exactly.
So we don't start with the Fraggles this time, though. We start with the trash heap.
Yeah.
And did anybody else think that the music while we were panning over the sleeping trash heap was, like, a little more seductive than it had any right to be?
Oh, I was going to say it was creepy.
Oh, I definitely got, like, old 80s, like, oh, yeah, isn't this nice music? And I was like, I mean, it's a trash heap, but you're not wrong, per se. And then we get to see Philo and Gunge, and they're in their little wrap.
They're in little striped pajamas, and they're so cute.
Got their little nightcaps.
There's a lot of, like, puppets in this episode where we're not used to seeing them in certain outfits, and they're in outfits. We'll talk about the Doozers later. I got so excited with the Doozers.
Oh my god, I have so much to say about the Doozers.
Yes, but yeah, Philo and Gunge are in very cute little pajamas, and they are witnessing, like, Marjorie having a nightmare. And she wakes up and tells them that she appeared to herself in her dream.
Which, can you imagine being important and appearing to yourself? That's a beat I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
That's a new one.
Yeah. And she has this great line, "You know how it is. When the trash heap appears to you in a dream, you better listen up and you better listen tight." I was like, okay, yes, point taken, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she says that line.
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating. Oh, wow. Oh, that changes some things I have down the line. I didn't realize that line started with her.
Did you think that Philo or Gunge said it?
No, the first time I clocked that line, it was Moki saying it to the Doozer.
Oh.
But then the Doozer says it to the Gorg, and then the Gorg say it to each other, and so, like, there's this whole thing about, like, cultural mimetics that I want to talk about later, about, like,
definitely.
Yeah, these cultures sort of bounced off of each other and didn't really connect, but, like, turns of phrase bounced through them and connected through, and that's, like, a really good first step for cultural integration.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
God, it adds such a completely different thing to if the person who decided to take away all the food is the one who started it, because that just means that the, like, oppressive culture is the one that's permeating through all the other ones. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, that kind of gets into, so basically in her dream, she wants to bring the Gorgs, the Doozers, and the Fraggles all together, and so she decides to teach them a lesson with magic, where she takes all of their radishes away. It's a wild move to be like, let's take the source of what keeps all of these creatures happy and living and thriving away from them, so they can just learn to appreciate one another.
Which historically is not how it works.
Right?
I can't speak to Fraggle or Doozer or Gorg history, but I know in human history, most times in an emergency, people will pull together. And the big exception there is, like, long-term starvation. You want to see the, like, ugliest sides of humanity, take away the food in a large group of people and just wait.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too into it, but in watching this episode, there's currently things going on in the world where I was like, this is giving me... I've been taking a lot of news recently of things happening on the other side of the world, and I was like, oh no, Marjorie.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel good.
Marjorie, you're doing it bad here, Marjorie.
So
go ahead.
I want to touch on how Philo and Gunge react to this. Because like they're worried about her first because she's having a nightmare. They clearly have this loving relationship with her. And when, she's bemoaning, like, oh, why can't they all get along? Why can't they understand one another? Why can't I bring them together? And I was like, oh, honey girl, world peace does not rest solely on your slowly composting shoulders. Even a bleeping demigod figure with literal magic powers cannot do it all by herself. And then I put in parentheses, are you listening, Beth? So at first I was like, oh, okay, well, she's trying to come at it from a good place, but then Philo and Gunge get, like, increasingly worried about her. She's like, I'm gonna teach them a lesson, and they're like, but not with magic, right? No magic? And she's like, nope, magic, here I go, and they're trying to be supportive and trying to, set her up for success, but she has another plan in mind.
They have a specific line. One of them says, she's in one of her save the world moods again.
Yep.
It's going to be a bad week. And it's like, oh, this happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
This happens consistently.
Yeah, another one says, I hate when she gets like this. So I was wondering, like, okay, do Philo and Gunge hate when she gets like this because she's hurting them, or she's hurting the Fraggles and the Doozers and the Gorgs, or she's hurting herself? And I was like, you know what? It's probably a little bit of all three. Like, obviously she's hurting the Fraggles and the Doozers and the Gorgs by taking away something they need, or at least something that they think they need, without warning or explanation. And she's hurting herself by holding the burden of flippin' world peace on her own shoulders. And she's hurting Philo and Gunge because they love her and they don't want to see her do that to herself.
Yeah. I was going to say, she doesn't hurt them, and it's like, no, she hurts them through empathy because they care about her. Yeah, you're right.
I will say, on an adorable note, when she gathers the radishes to them, and they all start thudding down around them, suddenly Philo and Gunge have tiny hard hats.
Oh, I missed that. That's very good.
I didn't clock that they had randomly appeared, but, like, yeah, that was clearly a part of the spell she cast.
To protect them.
Or they just knew to be prepared.
Or they just knew to grab their hard hats.
They just have a revolving wardrobe to protect them from Marjorie's spells. Which I will say, I did like the effect of Marjorie raising her hands and, like, the wind and the smoke coming, and when she's enacting her magic spell, which this is definitely, we've talked a bit about her imbuing, like, she gave Wembley the magic potion, she's given Fraggle's quote-unquote lucky items, but this is her, like, just straight up doing magic.
Yeah.
Magic exists in this world, canonically.
Yeah, it really does, like, show how actually powerful this character can be.
Yeah. When JD was on the podcast, we were talking about how, she started out as, like, this more...
Like a fraud.
Like a fraud, yeah. Like, you go to Madame Trash Heap, and you pay her $5 and she looks into her crystal ball and tells you your fortune, and it's only as powerful as you believe it is. But no, she's got some legit magic powers, and she's gonna wreck stuff. Thank you.
You're welcome. I work with children. I'm very good at creatively not swearing. So we cut to the Fraggles, and Moki is writing a journal entry, which is a lovely journal entry and a lovely parallel to the Doozer diary entry we see later.
Mm-hmm.
But Boober rolls up and has one of my favorite lines I've ever seen a character say to another character at the beginning of a conversation. He comes up and he goes, "Oh, Moki, there you are. Then you haven't died in the night."
That's so good.
Yeah. What a weird way to greet your friend.
See, I was just like, Boober, is this how you greet people? Because that's the most Boober thing I've ever heard. And then it turns out, no, he's just being a jerk, but he's being a very Boober jerk.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, well, I went to get a radish and they're gone. And since that's your job and somebody didn't do it, I just sort of assumed that you died. And it's like, wow, Boober.
Yes.
Passive aggressive much?
This is Boober's particular flavor of passive aggression. It just happens to also be hilarious.
It's a very morbid passion aggression, which, you know what? I'm here for that. But they're walking away, and then we cut to a Doozer writing a diary. Have they had antenna this whole time and I just didn't notice?
Yeah, because normally they're hiding under their helmets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, they're so cute. I love their little mouths.
They're very cute. And through this Doozer's diary entry, we learn what the Doozer sticks are made of.
We do.
Which has been floated as a question in past episodes that we've tried not to expose to Adam, and now you know that they're made from radishes.
Well, so here's the thing, right? I was concerned that it couldn't be a mineral because eventually it would deplete. And so obviously it's an organic reoccurring substance that they are, in fact, like powdering and concentrating to make into a like building thing, a building material. And that is why Fraggles love it so much, because it's not just radish, it's concentrated radish.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, for those who have not read my very first Fraggle Foodie article for Tough Pigs, where I attempted over several attempts to make real edible Doozer sticks.
Oh my god.
I'm going to plug that article, I'll put it in the show notes, so I'll send it to you, Adam. It was a journey. I am here to tell you that the Doozers are doing something that they are not sharing with this particular silly creature, because they're like, oh, we grind the radishes into radish dust, but ground up radishes are very, very wet. How are they getting the moisture out? How are they? And then they just put the radish dust into a machine that magically makes these clear sticks that are hard enough to build with. And I'm like, I want to shrink myself down and take myself down there to ask show me how this works, because I need to know. I couldn't get it to work.
I mean, if you dehydrate the radish and then blend it so you have like a chalky...
I tried that.
Oh, you did?
I tried the toaster oven, and they just got like floppy, and I tried the oven on the lowest setting, and they just turned into little bits of beige leather, and I tried freeze drying, and turns out you can't do that at home.
Oh my god.
So...
Beth, I love you so much.
Anyway, I eventually wound up with 4 different batches of candy, because that was the closest thing that I could think of, was like rock candy.
Yeah.
And so I did like a control batch with no radish in it, just unflavored, clear, hard candy, and then one with homemade radish extract, and one with like a pink goo that I made that could kind of be called radish salsa. And one batch with, with both of those.
Wow.
You were just going to slide right by that one. No, radish salsa. Wow.
I didn't think that one was particularly notable, but okay. But yes, they all came out to various consistencies and levels of flavor, and I don't know if I would try it again if I didn't have an expert with me who could show me, no, here's how you do it better.
I heard you made salsa. How rad is it? Well, it's radish.
It's good.
There's also a really cute moment where the Doozer's like, hey, boss. And the other Doozer goes, I'm your wife, Wingnut. And he says, you know I can't recognize you with the helmet on.
Which, at first I thought, oh, Wingnut is just his boss. And he calls her, he says, "Yes, Chief," while they're at work. And that's adorable and wholesome, and I love it. And turns out, no, Wingnut is not actually the chief.
That's okay.
That's okay.
We get just this really sweet Doozer song, and it's got this, like, really classic kind of military march, kind of Boy Scouty kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of the, like, when there's a pause, they go 2, 3, 4, and it's like a distillation of just all the working songs. And it feels so good.
Yeah.
They also have a line where they say, "Make our dreams work through our teamwork." And it's good to know that all corporate jargon is just plagiarized Doozer songs.
Yeah, I genuinely did not expect to feel, a little bit moved by the Doozer marching song. But it really gives us an insight into their worldview. And, like, no, this is... Okay, so just this first verse. "Dream a dream and make it true. That's what Doozers like to do. And building is the Doozer way to go. 'Cause every day the world is new. There's dreams to pay attention to. And building is the surest way we know." It's like, dang.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that their culture is like, yeah, have this dream and then make it happen because that's what we do.
Yes! Did anyone else clock the tiny Doozer snare drum that he's actually drumming on?
In the background, yes.
Like in time? Yes. It's so good.
It's very good. So, we find out that the radishes are gone, and we get to see the various species react. And my favorite is the Fraggle one, because Boober goes, "There's no more radishes! Ashes! All is ashes!" And I'm going to start saying that at every minor inconvenience. Like, "Hey, can I get an oat milk latte? Oh, we've only got soy milk. Only soy milk! Ashes! All is ashes!"
Amen.
We also we get to see the Gorg's reaction. And Magorg is like, "I need to make my beauty cream." And Junior's like, "Well, we're going to plant these radishes. Might have to go a few weeks without beauty cream." And then we get the wildest piece of biological lore that I have ever heard.
Yep.
That actually, in hindsight, does explain a lot of things.
Say more about that.
The Gorgs will turn invisible unless they rub this cream on themselves. And it starts from the head down. And at first I thought he was messing with Junior.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, that's why humans haven't seen Gorgs. That's how the Gorgs have gone unattacked by humans, is they're just full-on invisible.
That, and also, we always question, where are the Gorgs? And it's like, oh, they probably vanished, and that's why there's only 3 left. That was the connection I made.
Well, it's that they don't vanish, they just turn invisible, right? Because there's a bit where he's like, "I can feel your nose, I just can't see it."
That's true.
Yeah, and like they still exist. They're running around talking when they have no mouths to talk with.
I didn't know if when they fully went invisible, if eventually they would actually disappear.
Right.
And vanish. There's also one other moment, though, when Junior's mom is like, "Oh, we gotta put on the beauty cream," and he tells her, "Oh, Mom, why are you always making new batches of youth and beauty cream? You're already beautiful." I was like, oh, that's so sweet, Junior.
Very kind and sweet.
Yeah, and later he says it again, but he says, "We're already beautiful," and he like strikes this wonderful pose. Mm-hmm. And when he finds out that he's gonna turn invisible, he's got this little mirror and he's saying goodbye to each of his facial features.
Yeah,
he's really just a sweet guy. I appreciate Junior a lot.
Yeah,
he's sweet in moments. Right now he is still constantly trying to club Fraggles.
Right, like at first we sympathize with Junior because he's stuck under this horrible living dynamic. Mm-hmm. But then we actually get to, like him as his own person.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, he is a metaphor for the nature of man. For the man who is oppressed will turn around and seek to oppress another man so that he may feel the powerful aspect and understanding role of the abuser dynamic instead of simply disassembling the abuser dynamic.
And then we cut back.
I was going for Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Did I hit that?
Oh, I mean, that makes more sense than Freud, so yes.
Yeah.
I'll take Freud. I was going for armchair psychologist with a pipe and too many degrees. As long as that's the vibe that came across, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So the Doozers are trying to figure out what to do. And one of them's like, I can teach you all to knit. And then we cut and we get a whole song about how doozers don't like knitting.
Well, they're trying to like it.
Yeah, at first you think that, like, oh, I think, like, my thought was, like, wow, they pivoted so quickly to knitting, and then at the end it's revealed when, like, one of them is like, you're using all of the lime green, and the other one's like, my cardigan would look silly without lime green stripes, and then they're like, I actually hate knitting so much, and they're actually pretty frustrated, but they're all wearing tiny little knit sweaters and hats and scarves, and it made me so happy. They're so cute. It's so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all tangled up in their yarn and getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Yep. I also want to point out one of them seems to have knitted the trans flag.
Ooh, really?
I don't know if anybody else caught that.
We stand a transducer.
Oh yeah. Doozer said trans rights.
Mm-hmm.
I also just have one line about the song that they sing. It's just one of those, they rhyme gall darn with ball of yarn, and that's inspired. That's brilliant. I'm mad about it.
Do you have anything to say about the way that the Doozer knitting song is nearly identical to the Doozer working song, but different vibes?
So one of the things, I think the only thing that's really different is the rhythm is off. You can see there's a similar thing, but actually, and it's in that line, because there's a lot of doozer this and a doozer that, and we're hitting each of the major beats and a beat and beat and a beat and beat, and this one it's gall to darn to ball of yarn. So there's like these pauses in between the words, which is not as prevalent in the first version, and it on a rhythmic level at least is thematically showing that, like, no, they have not found their rhythm yet.
Yeah,
they're kind of pushing through it and trying to make it work, but they haven't really found the rhythm of this yet.
Yeah, and the instrumentation is more of like a cozy country vibe rather than the, marching vibe of the first one.
And yeah, after it's revealed that they actually hate knitting, they very clearly blame the Fraggles for not bringing radishes in. We also see that the Fraggles are blaming the Gorgs for taking the radishes and the Doozers for stopping their buildings. And then we also see the Gorgs are blaming the Fraggles for taking the radishes, so everyone is pointing fingers at one another for where all the radishes have gone.
Yep.
And then also, to jump back really quickly, when we first see the Fraggles, when the radishes are missing, like, Red wants to call a town meeting, and Moki doesn't want everyone to panic, and, it's her job to collect radishes, so she's trying to kind of keep everything in check, especially because Gobo is gone. Which I assume, like we have seen, where Boober's been missing because World's Oldest Fraggle has had a more prevalent part. I'm assuming it's because Marjorie has a huge part, and so Gobo is off exploring some caves for a few days, and this also means there's no traveling map postcard, which was wild.
Oh, there wasn't one, was there?
No. This is the first time we haven't gotten an Uncle Traveling Map postcard. I saw in Muppet Wiki that there's going to be a few more episodes where we won't get one.
Yeah.
But I take it that's not going to be a super common thing that we'll usually still hear from him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Moki goes to the trash heap. She has a great line where she's like, I can't just read about this. I've got to do something about it. And I'm like, oh, are you going to graduate from liberal to leftist? Kinda. A little bit, maybe.
I appreciated that when she realized, like, oh, well, Gobo's gone, and it is my job to collect radishes. I guess I have to be the one to go do something about it. She's not, preachification of convincing John era Moki of, I have to take a stand, and this is up to me to do the right thing. No, she's like, oh, it's up to me.
I guess I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Well, and also in Marooned, one of the episodes we watched recently, she, like, completely freezes, and we touched on, that was what she could do in the moment, but this one she really has to step up because there isn't a Gobo to take control and fix the situation.
Yeah. So she goes to the trash heap. Now, very important question. I don't know if I caught this, but does the trash heap say to her, listen right and listen tight?
Oh, I don't know. I did not write that down if she did. I know that Marjorie said that, like,
at the beginning, the final one, Gunge.
Here, I've got the episode pulled up. I could go. Yes, she does tell Moki, listen up and listen tight.
Gotcha. All right. Cultural memetics theory is back on. So she tells Moki, you gotta go at midnight, you gotta be at the garden with a doozer and a gorg. Moki's like, how am I supposed to make that happen? And Trash Chief's like, deal with it. Not my problem. And then we get to see Moki trying to find a doozer. And there's this really cute scene because there's this whole little huddle of doozers. And she's like, hello, doozers. One of the doozers says, ignore her, boys. Maybe she'll go away.
Doozers, it should be noted, in tiny little knitted hats and sweaters and scarves.
Mm-hmm. They're so cute.
So she gets Flange to go along with her, and we get this great world-building line. Flange asking, what is a gorg, and what is a garden?
Yes, I wrote that one down too.
I hadn't thought of that before, that the Doozers would never have had a reason to go into the garden because the radishes are all brought into Fraggle Rock by the Fraggles, and so it would make sense the Doozers have never seen a gorg before.
So, there's... I don't know if this is canonically in the show, but in one of the books it's shown that the Doozers are mining the radishes from under the ground.
Oh. They're like pulling them downward from the earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So they've never seen the surface.
I think I had assumed that the Fraggles were bringing the radishes and then the Doozers were just like taking some, but I guess that maybe makes a bit more sense than taking the Fraggles' food supply.
Yeah.
So yeah, Moki and Flange go into the garden, and there's a really great moment where Junior appears and his head has completely vanished, and Flange says, a walking mountain, and he says it with awe, and then Moki says, he has no head, and then yeets the doozer and starts just running around in sheer panic while Junior falls down in the background. It's just like such a great moment of all of these like little things happening for all of the characters all at once, and it made me laugh out loud.
Oh yes. Yeah, I love that gorgs slowly disappear from the top of the head down, because if they disappeared all at once, we wouldn't get the great visual gag of all three gorg puppets without their heads, which means that the actors are presumably just like scrunching down real tight inside the suits.
Yeah, agreed.
It also is worth noting that we get to see this moment of chaos after we see Marjorie's imagination of how it went.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the cutest thing of like Junior Gorg holding a Fraggle in the crook of his arm, who is then holding a doozer in the crook of their arm, and they're all singing together. She's like, oh, I bet it was like that. And the rats are like, well, actually. And then you get to see this crazy chaos thing with the doozer just getting yeeted, which, boy, howdy. Are there going to be consequences for that? Do they reference that later? Because if I was writing this, I definitely have the next time they try to talk to the doozers, I'd have Flange be like, I don't know, are you going to throw me again?
I don't think that happens, but oh, that'd be nice if it did.
We also forgot to mention, Philo and Gunge have been like hanging out in the garden and down in Fraggle Rock watching all of this take place.
Yeah.
And they go back to Marjorie to tell her, or try to tell her at least, like, how maybe her plan isn't going the way that she wants it to. And it's interesting, because I don't think we've ever seen Philo and Gunge anywhere besides with the trash heap.
Yeah, not so far.
Yeah.
So Marjorie is surprisingly optimistic about this ending, about this ending that is not what she predicted. She says it may not be perfect, but it's a beginning. Who knows? Maybe they'll even remember something from all this. And I was like, okay, that's a much healthier attitude for her to take than she started off the episode with.
I want to touch on the cultural mimetic thing, because that phrase, listen up and listen tight, goes from Marjorie to the Fraggles to the Doozers to the Gorgs. And so she is engaging in a little bit of cultural mimetics, and the interesting thing about this is she's the one who took the food away, which casts her in the role of the person with the power and thus the power to oppress or deprive. Which means that we're not getting cultural mimetics from culture to culture to culture. What we're getting is cultural mimetics from the ruling class onto the, like, exploited classes. And that's a very different tinged message.
Yeah.
A very real one. It's definitely a thing that happens, and it's definitely a part of reality. But, oof.
I guess I was viewing it more as the Gorgs as the ruling class and Marjorie as the effects of global climate change.
Ooh.
In that they're not all gonna get affected equally. Those with less power are gonna feel the effects way more.
That is true. I think for me the interesting part is that Marjorie makes a choice, and she's like, I'm gonna take this away from you for your own good.
Yeah.
Which is something that, like, that, if you've studied history, that kind of logic and that kind of reasoning crops up again and again and again. I'm doing this for their own good. They need this.
Yeah.
And then war crimes, effectively.
Yeah, this is not Marjorie's finest hour.
Yeah, that's where my brain went with Adam, too. And obviously Marjorie is doing it in this general example. She is doing it because she really wants to help them, but she's really not taking into consideration because it goes on for a couple days, and Moki writes in her diary that they're all slowly starving, and I'm just like, geez, Marjorie, you're killing the Fraggles. Not great. But she brings the radishes back. And then I was surprised that it's not that we didn't get more of a resolution. I just thought that maybe we'd pop back to see, like, the Fraggles and the Doozers be excited that the radishes were back. But We don't. It just ends on that. Well, it ends with Doc as usual, but there's no, I guess, little neat bow for the rest of the storylines. The last we see of the Doozers and the Fraggles are Moki and Flange in the garden after Moki has thrown him. So,
Which I respect, honestly, because, like, it's a messy story, and messy stories don't usually have neat conclusions.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we have gotten a couple times now with the recent episodes of Fraggle Rock. I know that, I can't remember which one it was, that there was another episode where I noted that it just felt like it ended slightly abruptly, and that there wasn't also, like, a neat bow on it, and so it's been interesting seeing the way they've played with the different storytelling mechanics.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, very rarely in life is there a neat bow tied on things that we can go, that was the lesson of the thing I just experienced. Lesson over.
Yeah. Also, I think we start with Marjorie. She's the first person we see in the episode. It makes sense that we would end with her.
Good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because this is a Marjorie story.
Yeah, it's her journey more than theirs.
It is, but also this episode was so jam-packed. Like, we obviously get Doc, but then we get the Fraggles, the Doozers, the Gorgs, and Marjorie and Philo and Gunge, and it's just so many characters. It felt like, I don't know, there's just so much, like, going on, and it's all tied together, but this episode, just, like, jumped from location to location, which I really liked. Most of the other episodes we've gotten, maybe we get, like, the Fraggles and the Gorgs, or the Fraggles and the Doozers, but I don't know, I liked that the world building in this was so, like, clear in playing with, like, all of the characters and all of the spaces.
Yeah.
And there is someone who realizes that they're interconnected and they need each other, and that's Doc and Sprocket realizing that they need Ned Schimmelfinny.
And he calls and he apologizes, and they have a nice little call, and he's gonna bring him over to play video games.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sweet.
Yeah. I really like the arc of the Doc Schimmelfinny.
The arc of the Schimmelfinny. Beware, if you open it, it will blind all non-believers with extra gasoline in their cars. I lost the thread here.
That's okay, that's what we're calling it now. It is the arc of the Schimmelfinny.
I want to hear about the international version.
Me too.
Okay. Literally all that Muppet Wiki says about the international versions is that in the UK version, Sprocket has fleas, and the captain gets rid of them using a concoction of stale radishes and kipper oil. Well.
Groovy.
I mean, that does touch on the interconnectedness, because he's also using radishes.
Yeah.
Because my brain is the way it is and it's early, my brain full-on thought you were going to say, literally all the Muppet Wiki has to say about the international versions is,
if there's a page that says that, I haven't found it yet. Maybe I'll have to make one.
Shall we talk about how to make the world a little fragglier?
Let's do it.
Don't withhold food to try to get your way. Don't withhold food from people you have power over.
Yep.
Don't do it. Feed people. Take a can of something out of your pantry and just give it to the next person you see. Don't say anything either. Just hand it to them. And then walk away. No. Say, I'm sorry, it's not a radish.
It could be your roommate. They could be the postman.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Take care of the caretakers in your community. Because when they think that it's their job to take care of everybody, that can lead to some interesting overreaching. And they need to be reminded, like, hey, maybe you can sit this one out and not put the burden of world peace entirely on your own shoulders.
Covering tiny things in very little knitted outfits can bring a whole lot of joy into your day. I don't know. I don't have anything on this one.
No, that was great.
No.
That was beautiful and perfect.
When in doubt, put a tiny sweater on it.
Basically.
That was actually the original line in Single Ladies. It was, if you like it, put a tiny little sweater on it. If you like it, put a tiny little sweater on it.
What?
Oh, perfect.
Little scarves, a little glove, and maybe little bonnets. Anyways, shall we plug our pluggables?
You can find me on social media at Beth Anna Cook, and occasionally writing stuff for Tough Pigs.
You can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up, or at juliagaskell.com, or also occasionally on Tough Pigs.
You can find me on the roof of your local supermarket conducting an orchestra that only I can see with a couple of chicken bones.
It's a great show. Catch it if you can. Thanks for listening. Remember to check out toughpigs.com. Give us a good review on your podcaster of choice, and we will see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk. Bye.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
I'm recording. Recording.
It's great
to record your voice.
Recording with you. Oh boy. Okay. What is this episode called? There we go.
The Great Radish Famine.
That was called The Pretty Okay Turnip Shortage.